Hi everybody, it's Stephanie Stone, and I'm doing the third of my series, daily series of uncut raw footage, and here it is. I'm inside today. As you can tell, I'm going to do a book review, and actually I wasn't sure if there would be enough content, and so I have another book and a video as well. These are things that I checked out from the library and I'll share with you. I'm trying to make it interesting for you and also kind of express myself, you know, as far as my opinions on the books, and as well as be as objective as possible as you can be when you are sharing your opinion or a review. You know, I think like anytime you do a review of something or you're trying to describe it, it is always, I think, there's always a bias because you're coming from your perspective only, and as unbiased and as objective as you try to be, it's not 100%. That's my opinion. Okay. And that's my unbiased opinion. Okay, this book is The Male Factor. Here it is. The Unwritten Rules, Misperceptions, and Secret Beliefs of Men in the Workplace. There it is. And it was written 2009. The author is Shanti Feldhan. There's her picture. There it is. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. I'm actually using this light. You know this as seen on TV, those lights? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I got it actually from Bed Bath & Beyond, and it's in the back there. It's first time using it, and it does help, even though it may be hard to tell. And anyways, I'm going to do a really quick review. I'm just going to like cover one thing that was in here. It's on page 125 of this book. It is from the library. And she did, you know, this is like a scientific survey study, and so there were survey questions and all kinds of stuff done. You like my description of that? One of the questions on surveys that she did was, if everyone doesn't pull together and keep things moving forward every single day, things will break down. So this is a question asked to men as far as workplace. Okay. And I feel like this regularly. I feel like this sometimes. 80%. So 80% of men feel if everyone doesn't pull together and keep things moving forward every single day, things will break down. And also, if I don't bust my butt today, I may be bankrupt tomorrow. And she goes in the book in this chapter about how men feel the weight of the world on their shoulders, and that if every day they aren't keeping their guard up, that, you know, they could end up losing their job. And they won't be able to provide for their families, and the spouse will leave them, and they'll be out alone. Anyways, that's basically what it says in this particular chapter. And just a few pages later, this is all based on interviews with men that the author did. And she wrote, rightly or wrongly, men often weren't allowed. Wait, I'm sorry. Rightly, okay, so, oh yeah, so she says men want women to, or everyone in the workplace, to be a team member. So everyone pulls together, and that relieves the stress of each individual if everyone's working together. And that, rightly or wrongly, men often weren't as sure whether a woman realized that or valued the need to relieve that pressure. Double entendre aside about relieving pressure and, you know, the last year or two Me Too movement, putting that aside, that I, you know, whether or not, I just thought that was interesting. And the last line, which I actually kind of laughed at, one man on the survey said that his top advice for women was, quote, remember that you are being watched and observed by others. The reason I laughed at that is because having worked in a workplace with all women, man, you don't know what being watched and observed is until you worked with women. Men, you think you're watching women. It ain't nothing compared, this is my opinion, ain't nothing compared to women's observations. And of course, as you know, women don't forget. And I've worked in offices with both men and women, and it's just my opinion that women do a lot more observing, maybe a lot more talking, and men probably see that as like they don't care, but you know, hey, we do, we do. One more thing in the book I wanted to mention, this is kind of a really very select kind of review. It's not the whole book. But one thing she did mention, I was just going to say, what was I going to say? Woman, I forgot. Oh, yeah, okay, I remember. About women being emotional in the workplace. And the example she gives is like, sometimes women, especially higher up, who make decisions, will stop and think about something, try to think it through to the end, or start at the end and go to the beginning before they start rushing into a project. and that's not necessarily common among men, or if I understood correctly, that men see that as a weakness, as delaying and being unsure or wavering in your decisions. So it is an interesting book, and there it is. It is the male factor. There it is. That's my review. Write in and tell me what you think, and also about if you think I'm, talking clearly or making sense. And as long as we have time, let's see, what are we at? 5:30. Well, hey, that could be the whole video. But you know what? As long as I have these here, I'm going to do these really quick. I just want to mention this really quick. This book, The Man in the White Sharkskin Suit, My Family's Exodus from Old Cairo to the New World. You may have heard of this book. It was written in 2007 by the author, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Lucette Legnato. There she is. And the reason I really wanted to mention this book is because the author just died. I think it was less than 2 weeks ago, as I'm taping, July 30th, 2019. And I honestly had never heard of her. And really interesting. She won an award for this book, and she wrote 2 more books, at least 2 more books. And she was sort of like an investigative journalist, and who worked really detailed, insightful, and quick, covering stories as they were happening and ongoing stories. An incredible journalist, well regarded, well received, well rewarded with prizes and stuff. So this was her first book that she won a major award. I forgot the name of the award. And real quickly, it's about her family leaving. I want to show this picture really quick. Here, there. Like this picture. This was taken in Cairo. And she said, this, you look at this picture, and everyone looks like a big happy family, and everyone's, like all together. And I guess like a day or two later, people started dispersing all over. I can almost cry. Oh, I almost cry. This is an emotional book for me because it's sort of the breakup of culture or a lifestyle and a family. Okay, I don't want to cry because men would see that as weak in the workplace. Oh yeah, by the way, in that other book about men, the male factor, some men said that if it's appropriate, then they can understand a woman or man crying, for, I guess, I don't know, a minute or two, if it's appropriate, if it makes sense. Anyways, like if you got fired, and other things. And then finally, here's my DVD review of Bel Canto. There you go, with Julianne Moore, who I'm a fan of, and Ken Watanabe. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And he is an Academy Award nominee, and Julianne Moore has won an Academy Award. I know she was in Boogie Nights. I don't know if that's where she won the Academy Award. And I watched this movie. I didn't watch the special features, which is about the characters and the history, which I actually want to see. And this movie is about an opera singer. Julianne Moore plays a fantastic opera singer. And actually, it's not her voice. And they do list the voice, who does the voice on this movie. And I did not write it down. I don't recall it. I'm not an opera fan, but this beautiful, gorgeous singing. And anyways, the plot is that Julianne Moore goes to she's highly paid, highly regarded. She goes to this private birthday party of an international executive, and while they're held hostage, and what ensues in that. I don't want to do a spoiler alert, so there won't be any giving away of what happens, but at the end. But in the middle, the people doing the people in charge, or the hostage holders, the quote-unquote bad guys, and the people being held hostage, these pretty affluent people, they kind of interact, and it's really kind of cool and neat, and in my opinion, realistic, even though I know this is sort of like a fantasy or whatever made up. Maybe it's based on a real story. I didn't see the special features yet. Anyways, okay, there you go. So Bel Canto, I recommend it. It's a DVD movie. I don't know when it came out. When did this come out? It's 102 minutes, and it came out recently, I think, like maybe in the last couple of years. It's July 30th, 2019 as I'm taping. Anyways, that's it. That was my review on that, my quick review on The Man in the White Sharkskin Suit, and of course my main review on the male factor. I hope you enjoyed this uncut, raw footage. My attempt, Stephanie's attempt to be more natural and in the future, hopefully even more concise. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.